Well, we should spend the 20 minutes talking about this movie.
I was telling Naomi, I was like, at least we're gonna finally have a short episode. There's
We
really
could
only
have
one thing to talk about on this movie.
Could be a short episode. It won't be, but it could be.
Maybe if we tried really hard, I think we could do it. I think we could keep it to an hour.
Let's see if we can do an hour.
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's Hey, watch him, yeah!
Welcome to Watch It with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
And on this show, we watch a movie, sometimes a movie from the 90s. That's a mistake.
Hold on. Before we even go further, then, are you saying the problem with this movie is that it was made in the 90s?
I'm beginning to wonder.
I'll tell you right now that I disagree because the 90s were a great time for me. I loved the 90s.
I just kind of wonder if maybe like they kind of knew how to make movies in the 30s and 40s and going in the 50s, and then things got groovy in the 60s and 70s. It got dirty, and then in the 80s it got 80s, and then in the 90s, like maybe there was some good movies in the 90s, but maybe a lot of movies in the 90s they just were like they were almost like television shows. You know, they weren't really movies.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you that quality-wise, this could have been a made-for-TV movie. I won't disagree with you there. But let's look up a list here. Best movies of the 90s. I bet there's some bangers in here.
Give me the top 10 movies of the 90s. Let's talk about the 90s for a second.
Well,
I don't want to talk about this movie. Yeah, what is it?
I would love to talk about this movie. What the first thing that I saw that popped up made me laugh because you hate it, and it was Twister. Shawshank Redemption. Great movie.
Great movie.
Come on. Super Cop is, I don't know if it's very fun. It's not a great movie. Seven. That's a good one.
It's a really good movie.
People like Saving Private Ryan. I'm not a fan.
Big fan.
Silence of the Lambs, Fight Club. See, there's movies. Forrest Gump. Fargo. Sure, people like that movie. You know,
so there were
The
like
Matrix.
There were like 10 movies that pretty much laid down what movies going forward were.
Yeah,
right?
Well, you're right about that.
Here's the sort of blueprint of what movies should be.
Groundhog Day, I love that movie. Jurassic Park, Usual Suspects.
Okay.
Sixth Sense. Oh, boy.
Well, the movie we're doing today. What is the movie we're doing today, Tony?
Well, it's not on this list that I'm looking at. I'll tell you that right now. This was a movie that my lovely partner picked out, and she was like, I heard about this, and we need to watch it. Turns out she's right. It's Looney Tunes. It is called My Father the Hero, starring
Gerard Depardieu.
There you go. And Katherine Heigl at a very young age of 16 years old, which is going to be important for the rest of this conversation.
So, like, her physical body was 16 years old when she was making this.
Her literal physical self was 16.
Okay.
We ogle her throughout the whole film, and she's playing a 14-year-old.
14-and-a-half-year-old.
Oh, sorry. You're an adult. You're absolutely right.
The difference between 14 and a half is a chasm.
This is, I'll say it, this is the creepiest movie I've ever seen.
I can't believe this is the creepiest movie you've ever seen, but it's a creepy movie.
I don't expect you to have this off the top of your head. What's a creepier movie to you?
I mean, I bet you Lolita is pretty creepy.
I have not seen it. You're absolutely right. I guess I should preface this by saying I don't watch a lot of movies that I know are going to creep me out. But this definitely did on many levels. There's so many different levels that this movie was creepy.
Yeah. You see, I'm old. So,
we're both old, Dan.
So, like, you know, I'm like, it was creepy, but I was like, it's not creepy, but not surprising. See, I think that the younger generation like you are used to the world being a little better. You know, us older people were like, yeah, that's kind of the way the world is.
Was. We got to say was there. It can't be is. I hope it's not is.
You know, I always remember I'll watch like old 40s movies and the men will grab the woman by the arm to like show them where to go.
Sure. Yeah,
and
not great. Not great.
You watch older movies like that, you're just like, see, to me, that's, I think, how this movie is. You're looking at this movie going like,
I did look at it going, but let me explain why. Like, just top level, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with in the movie itself.
Yeah.
She is 14 and a half. Thank you, Dan. And she is trying to date a 17-year-old. Already, for me, that's too much.
He was 18.
Was he 18? I don't know. I was only half paying attention.
Gosh, I think
Either
he was 18,
way,
but he 17 or 18-year-old boy.
Either way, 14, that's too young. Like, so even just the general premise, the good part of this movie, like the part that we're supposed to root for of this movie is already a problem for me. Then she like lies and pretends her 50-year-old father is her boyfriend, and not a single person calls the cops. Not one person is like, we need to report this because this is horrifying.
They're not in America.
I did pick up on that, confused on why everyone speaks English without an accent.
Oh, because they're at a resort. They're at a resort.
In where?
Well, like Antigua or someplace.
You're just making that up.
That's one of those sort of island places. Yeah.
I don't know. It felt a little weird. But regardless, I understand. But she even said, like, there's a conversation in the movie where she's like, yeah, I mean, he has to pretend he's my father because of all those stupid laws. Nope. So I can't handle it. So that's within the context of the movie, right? Yeah. And then not to say he also kind of plays along. And also some people seem jealous of him. Like Stephen, what's his name? Tobolowsky. Like there's a line in there where he seems very jealous of it. And there's too much. All of that's awful. But then you start thinking about the real world situation. Now, she is 16 years old. The love interest of the movie is 23 years old in filming this movie. Horrible. Absolutely terrible. What are we doing? You can't do that, everybody. And then just the camera work sexualizes her a lot. It's all bad, Dan.
Well, this is based on My Father for the Hero, Hour and 29, 1994. This is based on a French film, right?
And is he also in the French movie?
I don't know. I didn't want to dig deeper.
I get it. You'll get on a list.
At one point, he sings the song "Thank Heavens for Little Girls," which is from Gigi. Which Gigi is the same. That's what Gigi is about.
Because that song was weird, and he turns around and is confused why everyone left. Regardless of the context of the movie, it's an inappropriate song that I would also leave. So it's all very confusing.
Gigi's the same sort of thing. She's like 15 years old, and she's raised as a courtesan, and Louis Jordan, and what's his name who sings the song? She's meant to be like the side piece to like The Married Man, I think, if I remember. It's a weird
goodness.
movie. Yeah, it's not one.
No, that sounds weird.
But it's like a great, it's a classic musical. So, it's like Sound of the Music's all about Nazis.
Less creepy than this movie. I'll just say that.
So,
I mean, So trying to get past all that is hard for me.
Sure.
And then it also doesn't help that I can't understand half the words Darbradu is saying. It's tough for me. I had a real tough night, Dan.
Wait, you have the subtitles on. You could read everything.
I can't read. How many times do I got to tell you? I can't read.
It's on this thing.
It's hard. Read it. It's hard.
Oh, Tony, you can't read words off the screen.
What did you think of this movie?
It just was, the thing about movies is you start a movie, the key to a movie is a person has a want, right? And then they have their character flaws and the world that stand between them and their want, right? And usually what they have to do is they have to figure out they have to solve their character flaws to get what their want is, right?
Well, you don't necessarily have to solve anything, apparently.
Yeah. Well, this movie, her want is that she wants to date this guy, sort of.
Illegally, yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And her character flaws is that she's a gigantic liar.
She is a pathological, like dangerous liar. At one point, she says the words, something like, "It just comes so easily to me."
I wish that they'd established that that's what was going on in the movie, and then I think you could have made a comedy.
Sure.
But as it is, she's a pathological liar who that's just sort of like, it sort of happens.
Yeah, it's just kind of like how we get from A to B. It's not really a character trait as much as there's no other way to do this, so let's just make her lie about it.
Yeah, she, or she's mad at her dad. But this movie like gives you whiplash because it's like, I love you, daddy, and then she's like, you should die. And
I mean, it's I believe her entire character is summed up very early on when she's talking to the mother in the first scene almost, and they're arguing over a sweater, and she's just like screaming Bloody Mary at her mother. And then we go downstairs, the mom comes out, and they like cry and hug each other and love each other. And I was just like, whoa, what's going on here?
I think if we talked to this movie must have been written by a man, because if we talk to any woman, that is not the way it is when you're a 14 to 16-year-old girl interacting with your mother. It's like it's broken. It's always broken down, and that should have been the point. But they want it to be heartfelt or something too, and so that's save that for the end.
Did you tear up a little? Did you tear up each time?
You mean every time that we whiplashed and she's like
every time that she goes from naughty to sweet or whatever? What is that? What are those? What are the sugar sour patch kids? That's the thing, right? Like first they're sour, then they're sweet. That's her character.
That's her character. So that was my big problem with it, is that it wasn't really a movie. It was just a series of things that happened. And then
uninteresting things,
unfunny. I mean, I had one laugh.
You had a laugh. Where was it?
Very near the end. I don't remember. I'll find it when we get there.
All right, yeah.
But I think it's one of those classic laughs where it's like they do something and then they point out that that's the thing they're doing, which I always find very funny.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that's just a very classic laugh. Thing for me, and I was like,
very easy laugh, as it were.
It's funny. So we start off with, what do we start off with? What plane is landing? We're gonna quiz Tony. There's a weird looking plane with a
there is a weird looking plane, and that's what I said. What's wrong with this airplane? It looks like a broken bird. And this was like a trivia question. That's a plane that I should know.
Of course you should know. Everyone knows that plane.
It looks very stupid. Is it the Pelican? Pelican 1.
It's called the Concorde.
So I was on the right track. It is a bird. Right? Concorde's a bird, right?
Is it? There's the band, The Flight of the Concords. I don't think it's a bird.
Wouldn't that mean it's a bird?
I don't know.
Well, the condor is a bird.
Yeah, condor. No, you thought condor. Oh my God, Tony, that's embarrassing. So what the Concorde was it was a supersonic airplane, and so it was the fastest way to get from Europe to here.
Okay.
And so it was very expensive, and I think there were only a few of them, and they did a lot of big transatlantic flights, and then at a certain point it wasn't worth it anymore, and they scrapped them. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Concorde.
So do we now go slower than we used to?
Oh, then the Concorde went? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah,
so we've regressed? Fast. That seems unfortunate.
I mean, it's a faster thing, but it's not, it's a cost analysis thing. It's better off for them to go a little bit slower.
It's not better off for me.
No.
I'd like to get there much faster because this body does not enjoy sitting on an airplane for 10 hours. All right?
No, it's terrible. So that's the Concorde. And then we get the first, we get the song. La di da 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 di 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 da di da, or however it goes. That's a different song.
That's pretty much it. You sounded almost identical.
La di da di da di da di da di da. They do this refrain so many times in this movie, and it's horrible every time.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Yeah,
I think the person who did the music for this movie is the worst of the people. I would take them as being worse than the writer.
In the wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, oof. I mean, it's a tough battle. You know what I mean? Like they would be slugging it out to the end, but I don't fault you for that because every time it comes on, it's grating. Like it detracts from the movie. Like a lot of soundtracks that are bad just disappear, right? They're just kind of like, yeah, I didn't even notice there was music in it. But every time something comes on, you're like, what is this shit? What's happening right now?
I think, what was I watching? Gosh, I was doing a compare and contrast, and I was watching, because we must have watched something bad, and so then I watched something good, and the good thing had a good soundtrack, and I don't know what it was, and you were just like, a good action soundtrack just gets you right where you need to be.
Yeah, it really does.
Gets you pumping, you're like, yeah, go, 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 you know.
Go.
This movie, yeah, not so much. Gerard Depardieu gets there. He gets a taxi to New York City, goes to see the ex-wife. His name is Andre. Lauren Hutton is the ex-wife. Her name is, daughter's name is Nikki. The dog immediately pees on him. And they do a
dog, though.
He remembers you joke. You know, he remembers you because he peed on you.
Yeah.
He plays a little piano. Nikki comes out. She's happy, then sad, then happy. Like in the course of 30 seconds.
Yeah, like it's basically a single shot of her doing different facial expressions. It's super weird. Doesn't make it like we should cut away from it. I don't know. I don't know how to make that good, to be honest with you. It's just weird.
So he's been an absent father. He's been for the last 5 years.
5 years? Okay.
And pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And then we're going to find out a little more information as time goes by about how this is going. Yeah, there's one salient point that they come out.
Interesting. Maybe that'll solve the whole movie for me.
Well, the point being is a year before, he had come to New York City and not told her that she was there. He was there, and then she spotted him on the street or something.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And it was her birthday, and so that she was very hurt by that.
Understandably so.
Which should have been the thing that sort of made
spurred.
It should have just been contentious from the beginning.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's not.
No, not really. We also don't like. What I don't understand is why he's been absent for 5 years. You know what I mean?
Work.
What does he do?
Works.
Yeah, but we don't know. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know what he does, because they do say like, oh, I was working or something, but I don't know what that means. Why are you gone for 5 years but you were there 1 year ago on a date? That's not work. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. And he doesn't seem like a deadbeat dad, like they don't do the whole deadbeat dad trope.
Nope.
It's very confusing to me.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, so he's got a girlfriend, I guess, back in France. Emma Thompson plays the girlfriend, strangely.
Yeah. When she pops up at the end of the movie, I was like, what?
What's happening? What's going on?
Why? But it's great for them.
He calls her numerous times during the and talks to an answering machine and sort of basically just says, please talk to me, please talk to me, please talk to me, please talk to me. Then the final one is, will you marry me? Then she answers the phone.
Uh-huh.
So she's been fishing to marry him.
She's just like holding out.
We don't know this. And so all we see are these weird phone calls. And the first one, I thought he was calling the ex-wife. And then I was like, no, there's an actual girlfriend. They should have set up something with this ex-girlfriend so that we know there's an anticipation of something.
Of anything.
Anything. We don't know. So he's talking to a character that we basically never meet through the movie. We don't know what his want of her is and what her want of him is. It's the most wasted space in a movie I've ever seen.
And what's confusing to me above all of that is I swear they say that she's out of town. Like, I swear it's set up that she's out of town and that's why he can't find her, quote unquote. Because he uses the term, like the words, I can't find her.
Yeah.
So I don't know where he's calling. I don't know if he's calling her hotel where she's supposed to be or if he's calling the house, but she's there every time just listening to the message. And we never see her face, which is also weird until the end. Like, is this a surprise? I don't understand any of it.
And I mean, I really thought she was going to be the third act where she appears there.
Sure. Yeah.
And then they fight over him or her.
She's not.
Or maybe she shows up and she's a 12-year-old and then it gets really sexy.
I had that weird thought too. I was like, why aren't we showing her face? Is she going to be like, is the ultimate twist of this movie is he's also marrying someone like her best friend or something? I don't know. It was really weird. I went to a dark place.
Yeah, and it just, nothing served anything. So you're like,
No.
I don't get it. I don't get it, brother. Okay, so... her and her mom fight over a sweater. Then she comes downstairs and then take the sweater. I love you. And then they almost take the dog with them. And we're like,
right, what? It's brutal. It's a tough start because there are a total of 0 laughs in the first 10 minutes there.
First 2 hours.
Well, I just mean like that scene should set the tone for the movie, and while it does. You just don't like the tone. You know what I mean? Like it definitely does a good job of setting up. Her character is going to be all over the pitch. She's going to be, just bouncing around emotionally. I don't know. And he's not funny. That's basically what it sets up.
And he's going to be generally like, why is things happening around me? I don't understand. But I don't
That was really good.
But I'm not going to do anything to sort of investigate or try to find out what's going on.
I won't do anything proactive about it. I'll just always wonder.
They get some drinks. He gets her a Shirley Temple. It's very weird.
Why is it weird, Dan? Because I'm going to tell you why it's weird. But why? Do you know why it's weird?
Like, why would you get someone a Shirley Temple?
Well, because she used to love Shirley Temples.
Oh.
Right? He says that. You love Shirley Temples. And she's like, I'm 15 or 14 or whatever. What did she say? 16? No, she's actually 16. So she says I'm 14. Sorry. I'm very confused. And she's like, I don't drink them anymore. But when he first hands it to her, she drinks it. And she goes, ew, what is this? If she used to love Shirley Temples, like they said she does in a second, she would know what it is and just not want it. But instead, she has no idea what it is and is confused why it's in her mouth. So the whole scene just doesn't make any sense. If she just doesn't like them anymore or is pretending to not like them because she's an adult now, that's great. Make a decision. But you can't go, what is this? You love Shirley Temples. Well, not anymore. That doesn't make any sense. That's like bad improv.
It is. It's like, it's yes and no.
Yes, yes and no, and here we go.
Yeah, and as we always say on this show, once you start knocking us off of our pedestal, knocking us away, the further we get from your movie,
it's so hard to get back.
And the closer we are to our telephones, that will give us instant gratification. I love you.
You would.
So they're going. Then he says, "I sent you letters," and then he walks over to get her the Coke, and then he talks to the bartender lady who's attractive, and she's all like, "Why are you flirting with her?" And you're like,
"Right, like why are you mad?
Do you really do you really think people like look at every situation like that?
What do you mean?"
Well, like if you saw somebody walk over there, they'd have to actually be flirting for you to think they're, like,
sure, unless you're a super jealous partner, not a weird daughter.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I don't even understand why she'd be mad if he was flirting. Like what? Why? What's the problem with that? He's technically single. He's got a girlfriend or whatever, but he's not married. Yeah. So why are you mad?
Just because, and that's the whole point. This movie just makes those decisions because that's a decision you can make. We'll just make her mad here because you could get mad about that.
Sure, but then you wouldn't, in like 2 scenes later, you wouldn't try to set him up with another woman to get him off your back. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense.
So they're going to go have the best vacation ever. They're going to fly to somewhere that they don't tell us. And they get there, and she's all like, everyone is old. And then she sees a hot guy.
Yeah, and she seems to see a lot of people around her age.
Yeah,
in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. Seems weird. But also, he's very pretty.
Now, was that the dude is that Ben who she's going to fall in love with, the first guy she sees?
Yes.
That is
him.
him.
She sees him. She runs into the table in the lobby, and then, it's funny or something.
So he has to sleep on the couch. He's not supposed to sleep, not supposed to take his clothes off or something. I don't. How do you book a suite and not have 2 bedrooms? I don't understand that.
Very strange. But also, why do you make a joke about him being in his underwear? Like, what is the point of that? Why is the 14-year-old being like, Dad, keep your pants on? It's weird. It's just a weird thing to point out.
To put something in the living room that has to sleep there and then say, don't sleep how you sleep. It's like very weird.
I don't know. The whole thing's weird. It's a weird movie, Dan.
It's the morning. It's beautiful. He's in his underwear. They go out. They meet the Scranton PA men and their women. And then we establish that he's French. And one of the wives is all like, ooh la la, even though he's really unattractive.
He's not. He's not. And listen, pot, kettle black, right? But he's like, he has bad posture even. So he hunches and kind of waddles when he walks. Like, he walks a little bit like I imagine a real life Igor would walk. And I don't mean that in like a mean way. I just mean to say there's not a lot of
real life Igor. You're such a real life Igor.
I just don't think there's a ton of qualities about him that would draw strangers to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe once you get to know him, he's probably a great guy, right? A really nice guy, and that's how I win people over, right? It's a slow process. People don't come up and are like, "Wow, that's a guy I want to get to know." You know what I mean? I have to break down your walls and charm you a little bit.
Yes.
And I imagine he would have to do the same.
And then Tony ghosts your ass so hard once you pay attention.
And I get bored and I stop talking to you.
The daughter, she immediately starts attracting men. The Pablo from the band's going after her. And then she gets up and she's all like, loosen up, Dad. And she walks away. And they put her in the least appropriate bathing suit I have ever seen.
Yep. Super weird.
It is like just straight up her butt crack, and you see her entire ass.
Yep. Yeah, and she's very young. It's super weird. I just don't get it. I don't get the general conceit of the movie. But also, a lot of the men that hit on her are inappropriately aged.
Well, they're all generally. I mean, if they think that she's 16 or 17, they're all like 18 to 24.
Are they 17? Are they 16? Because that's the only appropriate answer, Dan.
Could you imagine if Tony was your dad and you're like, I'm going out with a boy tonight?
I'm going to be honest with you. We used to get in fights about this all the time, Naomi and I, about how I would be like overprotective and it's 2020 and we have to be progressive, and I'm like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I don't know how to let go. So it's a good thing we don't have kids.
So a 17-year-old couldn't date an 18-year-old?
I'm 17 and 18 is close. You know what I mean? Like, how 17 are you? Is it like, are you right on the cusp? Are you about to like, it's like, but if 15 and under is a no-go, that's a no-go, right? That's a hard no.
So what if she's like, what if your daughter is 17 and she's dating a 12-year-old?
Then I'm going to arrest her, like myself. I will physically bring her to the court. That's not where you bring them. Well, I'll bring her to the precinct and I'll cuff her myself and be like, guys, she's gross. Take her.
So there's a party tonight. She goes back, puts on shorts. She goes walking on the beach rocks, and then here comes a boy snorkeling. It's the boy of her dreams.
Where did he come from, snorkeling wise?
The ocean.
Right, like it seems like he just comes from the depths of the sea. I don't know. It's very strange.
Their first interaction, he is a giant dick.
Yes, yeah, he's a terrible guy. Yeah. Girls love that, Dan. You know what I'm saying? They love it.
Do they? Would that have worked on her?
Listen, I don't know what women want. Let's be very clear. No, it doesn't. She doesn't seem. I don't know. It's weird, right? They don't seem to have a moment where they're instantly liking each other.
Yeah. You'd think that this would be a flirty moment, right? Isn't this the flirty moment?
Yeah, it should be.
Shouldn't he be like protective of her as opposed to the tide's going to come in and you're going to die and I don't really care?
Right. He wasn't. Yeah, he's not trying to save her. He's just telling her, hey, guess what? You're dead.
It's so weird. I'm like, your first interaction, and then if that's going to be the case, then she's going to have to pursue him. But instead, she's just in love with him, and then he just sort of is in love with her.
Is he? I was questioning his motives the entire movie because there's a scene in the, I don't know, I'm going to call it the boathouse. I don't really know what it is, between him and his friend. Yeah. And his friend is basically telling him that she's an easy score and like he's going to get laid and she's easy. And he's like, oh, okay. So then the whole time I thought he was just using her and then they're in love. And I was like, what? I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah. To do love when you're, you got to do something. There's got to be like something where you sort of clue in something that it's like, oh, you like zoo animals? I like zoo animals. Okay. We're in love.
Great. Let's be in love. I love it.
Okay. Dad finds this nerdy guy that's into econ, and she's all like, nope, going shopping. Then she finds him a lady, and then he's like, I have a girlfriend.
She's my favorite character, by the way, in this whole movie.
Oh, Diane?
Diane.
Okay.
She's very funny to me. I like her. In another movie, that character's great.
She has Annie Potts' voice, and so I would always look up and be like, oh, Annie Potts. And I'm like, nope.
And they're like, wait, nope, never mind. That's not it.
Sort of similar woman.
Sure.
Then Dad finds her at the bar with this dude, David, who's a photographer who is way too old.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's like 50.
Yeah,
and a photographer. So you know that this is seedy.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
No. This whole movie's like morning, middle of the day, nighttime, morning, middle of the day, nighttime. Sure. It's just like we just go. Sometimes we do nighttime, next day, nighttime, immediately after it, just to make it confusing. We didn't even throw the day in on this one. So she's wearing the little black cocktail dress, and she does not look 14 and a half.
No. Well, because if she did, then this movie would be even more creepy. If she actually looked like 14, not that she doesn't look like a child, but if she, I don't know.
She's still very young looking. Now the locals are beginning to think that they're a couple. She runs into Snorkel Boy Ben, and then she tells Ben that her dad is her boyfriend. Why does she do that? Oh,
I have absolutely no idea.
Maybe because he was a giant dick to her, so she's trying to burn him, I guess.
I don't know. She says she wanted to impress him. That's what she tells the dad later. I don't know why that would impress anybody. I have no idea what's impressive about that.
I'm fucking a 50-year-old man. Isn't that cool?
It's not cool. It's not cool for either of you.
No.
But it's worse for you. One, like the old guy is a creep and should be arrested, right? But that's not great for you.
You're like
what's going on with you?
It means you're a user, or or
I don't know. It's not a good thing. There's no good way to look at it, in my opinion. Which people might come at us. I don't know, but to me, there's no good way to look at that situation. So I don't understand how you would use that to impress anybody.
Then she does a whole bit. I like older men. I'm 16. He pretends that he's my dad because of laws.
Stupid laws. So let's make sure you get that. Her line is because of stupid laws. They're not stupid. They're not stupid.
Yeah, they are, Tony.
No, not stupid.
I think so. I think you're wrong.
To protect people.
No. We need freedom. As a libertarian, we need freedom.
I mean, this is going to get me in trouble. I don't believe that we need freedom, okay? Because humans are bad. Humans are stupid. We need rules and we need guidance. We do not need freedom. We are not good with it.
That's Tony build the jails. Sick. Then they introduce themselves. I'm Nikki. I'm Ben. Okay. He's now hiding out from Diane because she was pleasant.
Yeah, she was nice and interested in him. Apparently, that's too much to handle.
She's pretty horny.
Again, age appropriate. Seems like a good person. I see no flaws in this situation.
So she comes over there. He's avoided Diane. She comes over there and she like snuggles up to him. And Ben's watching across from the thing. That's when he becomes interested in her. Right at that moment.
Right. And what does that say about Ben here? Something. I don't quite know what it is, but again, not good.
And it's not love, and he's not being protective, he's being hot for her.
Yeah, which is just
that night there's a big moon. He yells at her to come out and see the moon because she's watching TV or something, and the moon goes behind
a weird scene.
Cloud.
Goes behind a cloud.
And then she's all like, "What moon? Where? I'm going for a walk. Goodbye."
I don't understand. He's yelling about the moon. She comes out, goes behind the cloud, and then she's like, "Where is it?" He's like, "Oh, it'll come out again in a second." All right, I'm leaving. It's so weird, Dan.
This movie had to like fight hard for that hour and 29 minutes. They just like, what can we do? Okay, let's have them argue about the moon. It's like, that's an argument Shannon and I have. She's all like, we got to fold the laundry, and I come out there and it's like the towels. And I'm like, are we really folding these towels or are we just hanging them up in the bathroom like we always do? Well, yeah. It's like, what? Why is this a 2-person event? But the laundry's a 2-person event. So you make it a 2-person event.
You got to tag team it. You got to do it together. All right.
That's your married life.
There you go.
But that doesn't mean I don't get yelled at if I don't get out there fast enough.
Well, no, to be fair, we deserve to be yelled at. I'm going to be honest with you, Dan.
Absolutely. So Ben appears, and then Andre, while they're like, consummating their love affair. Well, not consummating. While they're establishing their love affair.
Consummating. Oh,
Andre's calling the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And now is when she becomes a gigantic liar. She walks to the beach and she tells him that her dad's in jail, or her dad's a prostitute, or she's a prostitute,
no,
or the mom's
a prostitute. She was into drugs, like hardcore dope or something, she says, which is funny. The dad's in jail, and she saw this in a soap opera. Is that what it is? And then she just took it from the soap opera, because then later Andre is able to guess what she said about the parents. So it must have been all from the show. I don't know. This is not an endearing quality for your lead of a film.
Andre and Diane go to get drinks, and then Diane's like, your daughter idolizes you. And he's all like, really? You think so? And we're all like,
where did she get that idea, you think?
I don't know.
Because I don't see it.
I don't know. Oh, you're right. Ben is 17. Then we have the great water ski. Okay, at this point,
oh boy.
I think that now I think we started the rumor mill, so everyone in the whole resort now thinks that they're dating, and so everywhere he goes, people give him dirty looks.
Yeah.
So they go water skiing with Ben, and then Ben hates him, and so
tries to murder him
while they're water skiing.
And openly, it's not like we're not making a joke. He says the line basically like, you're better off without him, and tries to kill him on water skis, and she has to yell at him to not murder this man.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's happening, Dan.
It's hilarious because he thinks that his if he can murder the person that is in charge of his lover or
he's
want to be
statutory
lover.
raping his lover. I mean,
Yes.
I'm not saying he's wrong in this situation. At least he's doing something. Everybody else at the resort has done nothing except for like, you shouldn't be doing that, buddy.
This serves you
Like,
right.
Somebody do something. At least Ben's taking action, trying to murder the man. All right, good for you, Ben.
So eventually he falls over and gets out of the water and clumps around, and Ben just leaves or something. I don't.
I think he just kind of fucks off. Yeah,
classic resolution in this kind of movie. People are just like, well, I guess this scene's
just
over.
walk away. Just walk away. You're doing all right.
Island dance night. He wants to. He dances with her, I think. No. He wants to dance, but she doesn't want to dance. Ben wants to talk. I don't think she wants to talk, so she sits over by the keyboardist who also has the hots for her.
Yes.
And then she dances with Dad. Then she sees Ben and then dances with Dad to make.
Yeah, because Ben is dancing with somebody else.
Oh, yeah, Ben's got a.
So she is like, well, now I'll dance with my old lover.
I'll show you.
And I don't know. It's just all weird.
And now this is one of those classic, okay, that's one night thing. Now we cut to the next night thing. Something may have happened during the day. We don't know. This is going to be dinner and then talent night.
Yeah, which is that something that resorts do? They just hold like a talent show?
No.
Because that's kind of fun.
They absolutely don't.
No? All right.
Not a chance. I
don't get to go to resorts.
They'll have like events and things, but it'll mostly be
but that's like
tequila drinking.
Yeah, like they put on things for like, they don't, I suppose, maybe they do, but I've never been to a place that lets the people that stay there do their own thing like that, I don't.
Nobody wants to sit and watch a guy do Streetcar Named Desire. No, nobody. Nobody.
I don't know. That I almost laughed at Tobolowsky doing the.
He's funny.
He's a funny guy.
So, boom, there they are having Nikki and Andre having dinner, and she's all like, "You're just gonna go get married and have other kids. Good night."
Yeah, So here's why this is confusing to me, right? I understand her being upset by that feeling.
Yes.
But that is brand new to the movie.
It is not precipitated by anything happening in this movie or any information or any talking that has occurred.
Now, generally, if you're making a movie and like you have that character have those feelings, the movie would be more about that. There'd be more going on. That would be like a central character want or desire, feeling.
It's something you would set up, and then this would be a payoff where she realized that that's what's going to happen.
Be like, oh, I get. But it kind of comes out of nowhere, and I didn't know she was upset. I don't know. It's really weird.
So we get the talent. We got a tango couple. Oh, yeah, she's gone to cry. She's looking for Ben. Streetcar Named Desire, a guy that we think is doing magic, a duet that we don't get to see. And then Diane's like, Andre, you're an incredible piano player. Go do something. So he's all like, yes, I will. And he goes up there and he sings Thank Heaven for Little Girls. And
a song about being
leaves.
Creepy to little girls. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Now, everyone at the resort thinks that he's like a pedophile.
Yeah.
Diane knows he's not, right?
Yeah, she knows.
Why doesn't she just tell him that everyone thinks he's a pedophile?
Does she know that everybody thinks he is?
Everyone in the entire resort knows. And do you think Diane would have missed that? How would she miss it?
It doesn't feel like she knows. That's what I'm saying. Like, the character doesn't act like she knows that's how everyone else feels.
Yes, but she would know.
I understand. I know that, in the world, she would know. I'm arguing I don't think this character knows because everyone clears out. He turns around and is like, what happened? And she is like, I don't know. I don't know why everybody left while you were singing about, loving little girls. I have no idea.
Oh, you know what? I figured it out.
Okay, talk to me.
She knows, right? But she knows that if everybody thinks that, he's fair game for her completely. No one else is going to make a move on him. right? So she's just like, it's clear playing
This
field.
is her getting rid of the competition.
Yeah.
Like, I could dispel the rumors, but this will help me get into his pants. Okay, I see.
That's what it is.
I'm with it.
So
Good plan, Diane.
He's like, I must find Nikki now. Why he's worried about Nikki now?
Well, because, he loves little girls. Thank God for little girls.
So
and he's just thinking about his little girl.
He forces someone to track down Pablo, goes to Pablo's house. Pablo's sleeping with a woman. He breaks into the bedroom, and everyone's like, what's happening?
I don't know what's happening. I'll tell you that.
And then Ben is like, he's like, no, Pablo says, go find Ben. He's with Ben.
Yeah.
So then Ben's with her, and he's all like, oh, we'll hide on my parents' boat until he leaves. And she's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm just going home.
Well, because my question is, like, what do you mean until he leaves? He's going to leave vacation without the young lady that he brought on vacation?
Yes.
He's just going to, like, go to the airport and be like, man, if she's not here in 5 minutes, the plane, well, I'm going to leave with the plane. Oh, boy, what do I do in this? I see you later. Call me. What?
He's untrafficked her by putting her on a boat.
He's untrafficked her. Wow, this guy's a real hero.
He's a hero.
Wowee.
And then she just like, maybe I won't do this, and just goes home to fight with him.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Then we do the whole you don't love me 13th birthday thing. Saw you and you didn't come to my birthday. And then he says, I'm sorry, I'll do anything. And you're like, oh, he's going to have to do something.
Yeah, he's going to have to go along with this whole creepy storyline.
She confesses. She tells him that she told Ben he's a lover. And I love him.
He does not get mad enough. He gets mad.
Does he?
Not mad enough. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. And she's all like, he's like, tell him. And she's like, I love him. He'll hate me. I'm going to die. And you're like, this is when the father says, this is young love. You're either going to get over it or the love will endure. And if he really cares about you, love, you're going to tell him the truth. And I'm going to go tell him the truth right now. Period.
Yeah. Oh, because he also says something about how this could ruin his entire life, but he says it very casually.
Oh, does he?
He's very nonchalant about the fact that this could literally ruin his entire life. He'll go to prison.
Yeah. No. Does she go and then tell him a bunch of lies at this point? Some more lies about her parents and the prostitute?
Don't you think
deal?
she has to?
Yeah, so she goes to Ben and tells him a lot more lies for some reason.
And at some point, oh, that's not yet. Don't worry about it. Never mind.
Then
there's something I got to talk about in a little bit.
Then she sets up that he has a heart condition, and that's why she can't leave him because of his heart condition.
She tells him he's dying. Yeah.
And then Ben's like, but he's out water skiing. You lied. And now he has to now act sick, and then Ben has to come over and see him acting like he's sick because he's dying.
Yeah. Yep.
Tony,
makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
What is happening?
I don't know, because it's...
This movie just whiplashes you. You're just like...
it's confusing because they do... You always talk about how you need the one line to explain stuff. Yes. And they technically do use the line, and they give Ben the moment to be like, well, he's not dying. He's fine. And she says, some days are good and some days are bad. So then she has to set up a bad day where he's in bed and immobile. And it's just so weird. Everything is so weird that happens here. And I think this is the scene where he's wearing a white t-shirt, Andre, with the deepest V I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if it's this scene or a different scene, but at one point he's wearing a V-neck t-shirt where the V almost goes to his navel. I've never seen anything like that before, and it is weird.
It's the French V.
It's the French V. Yeah, just deep, just as deep as you can get.
Rocking the French V. He calls the girlfriend again, no answer. Then he yells at Diane, and then he's like, leave me alone. Then she runs away. Then he follows her to apologize, but then he falls down, and then she laughs at him, and then she's back in.
And then everything's fine. Yep. Everything's fine. Sometimes just like a little self-deprecating humor is all you need. Make yourself look like a fool and people love you.
So now he's on board. So the next day he goes to meet Ben and then tells Ben a whole bunch more lies. He tells Ben a bunch of his lies.
Yeah.
And then she gets jealous because the two of them are bonding over his great lies.
Yes. It's so weird. But at least at this point you go, okay, I get where she gets it, because apparently this guy is a pathological liar as well. And these people are just trash people. They're garbage scum of the earth.
And so what do we do now? We come up with a new scenario.
New plan.
He's feeling insecure, so you need to make a fool of yourself in front of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we have a montage of sucking at tennis, at golf, and at windsurfing.
Yeah. And then, is this where they have the conversation where Ben is like, I guess I am better at him than at something? What does she say, Dan?
This is the nighttime. They're walking, and they're laughing at him.
Yeah.
And what does she say? I don't remember.
Well, he says, I guess there is something I can do better than him. And she says in a very sultry voice, there are a lot of things you can do better than him. And it's just creepy. It's just so creepy because we know what she's talking about. And he's just cool with it. He needs to not like it. Because then I don't like anybody in the movie. There's three main characters in the movie. Andre, who is going along with these creepy claims. Yeah. The daughter, who's a pathological liar, lying about that stuff. And then Ben, who's turned on by the fact that she's doing all this stuff. And they're all bad people. I don't like anybody.
When you're a young person, especially, you're jealous. All young people get very jealous, and it's horrible. And then hopefully when you get to be 50...
I'm almost there. Okay, good. I got some time.
You got less of that going on in your life, and you're like, oh, everyone's going to do their own thing. Sometimes this, sometimes that. I'm not going to worry about all,
Yeah, my life's already over, so what do I care?
But young people get incredibly jealous. And he's not jealous of Andre.
He's just like excited by the fact that she's with an older guy, because that means she's loosey-goosey. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, you're right. If he really loved her, then he would be jealous about these things. Yeah. And he'd truly try to be protective of her, but he's not really.
He's not, because he becomes best friends with Andre for a minute. He's like, wow, he's the coolest guy in the world. I get why you're with him. That's basically what happens for a little bit. That's weird.
It's so weird. So then he's off playing piano. Nikki sees him, and she's all like, I'm in love with that man.
The way that she's looking at him while he plays piano is completely inappropriate, because Ben clocks it and is like, I didn't get it. Yeah. I didn't understand why you're with him until I saw you watching him play piano. Ugh.
So that was the one good piece of acting in the movie.
I mean, I guess.
So then he's like, okay, you need to write him a love letter. And so they sit there, and he basically writes the love letter. Yeah. And I think it's. And then Nikki cries, and I can't tell him the truth. And she's despondent. Andre hangs out with the nerd.
Now, Dan, I have a question, and maybe we can't answer this appropriately. So sound off in the comments and let me know what you think.
Hold on, that wasn't the love letter part. What was?
Oh, that's not the love letter part, because this is in regards to the love letter part.
Ben left note to love him, never see him till Andre's dead. Oh, that they set up that Ben leaves her a note that says, we'll get together once Andre's dead. That's what it is. He leaves her a note.
He leaves her a note that's saying, I'm going to step back because you guys are good together. Yes. And then, once he's dead, I'll come back, which is a very weird letter to write. I'm just going to throw that out there.
When your lover is dead, then we shall be together.
Then call me. Give me a call, babe. Give me a call.
Yeah, free time then. The guy that you're in love with and dies. Okay.
Oh my God.
So weird. The morning she's despondent. Andre's hanging out with the nerd. Nikki goes windsurfing, but she windsurfs too far out and then crashes into a rock. Andre tries to swim out there to save her because the boat is broken. He cramps up and is about to die. They get the boat going, but Ben is also swam halfway, so they pick up Ben, pick up Nikki, pick up Andre. Everybody's safe.
Well, Andre's almost dead.
They take Andre in. Is anyone a doctor? The random Italian doctor comes over there and saves him.
Yeah.
And then as he's leaving, Diane hits on him, and we're like, okay, Diane's...
Which is great.
She's great.
You know what? She really married up there. You know what I mean? Like from Andre to this very handsome Italian doctor, like that's a huge step up for Diane. I'm very happy for her.
Yeah, it's good.
Now, Dan, in the boat while they're chasing Andre, Katherine Heigl is screaming, "Daddy, Daddy!"
Yeah, and calls him Daddy. Calls him Daddy a bunch of times.
Clocks it, like he understands it, but he never is like, "Oh, is he your father?"
Yeah,
so I don't understand. Like I don't know, man.
They make her say it a bunch of times, and you're like, "This is the point at which." He's going to realize what's going on, and we can move on from this plot line. But instead, she says it a bunch of times, and we ignore it.
I was so confused. It was so blatant. And I understand that can be a term of affection as well in that scenario, I guess.
Hi, Poppy.
But she's not. No. It's very clear. I don't know. It's super weird.
She sounds like a 14-year-old saying it.
100%. Yeah.
Daddy, I love you.
Right?
If she's doing that to her boyfriend, then you're fucking afraid. You got to make sure he's very dead when you go back to her.
Very dead.
Nikki randomly runs into Ben the next day at the market and apologizes, and then he's all like, "Stay away from me."
Right, because of the love they share? Her and Andre? Is that?
I don't know.
I kind of thought that he figured it out, but he didn't. No. So I don't understand.
So Andre forces Nikki to write a love letter. Then they go to the house and they put it up, tie it to a rock and throw it through his window.
Through the window. Let's be clear. He breaks the window and nobody cares. Not a single person is upset about this window. I found that very strange.
Let me ask you a question. Let's delve into Tony's life.
Please.
Imagine you lived in a room at your house when you were a kid. You're 17.
Okay.
And you had a psychotic girlfriend, and she threw a rock through your window.
Yeah.
How would your dad react?
Oh my God. My dad personally, I mean, shit would have hit the fan. I mean, he would have been outside immediately. Like the second he hears that brick, he's outside. Probably not with a gun, but with a bat at least, being like, what the fuck is going on? Who's paying for this window? I'm not paying for this window. I didn't break shit. I remember one time we were playing baseball in my backyard and we broke my neighbor's window. And that was a bad day. The neighbor didn't care. I had the sweetest neighbors, by the way. They were like the nicest people in the world. Love them.
Wow.
My dad, opposite, he was I had to pay that shit back, which is fine. I get it. I broke it. But why is he more mad than the neighbors? You know what I mean? If you come out and you're like, oh man, you broke the window, you're going to have to pay for it, but it's all cool. That's fine. That's great. Thanks for being understanding. I will pay for your window gladly because you're a nice person. But if you come out and you're screaming at me, I'm like, fuck you, pay your own window. I don't give a shit about you. That's how I react to things. I don't remember what the question was, Dan. I'm spinning off the planet here. You got me all fired up.
You answered it. So the rock goes through the window. Ben comes out. He's reading the letter. Nikki pops up. Here's my one laugh of the movie. She says, "Oh, you got my letter."
I don't think that was a joke, though, was it?
It was funny to me. You got my letter.
You got my letter. Weird. That is funny. Now that you're saying it, I'm laughing.
It's a good joke. And then we do the whole Cyrano de Bergerac, where he tells her what to say, and then she's like, he's like, tell him that you love him. I'm telling you that I love him. Just she messes up tenses and things, and I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's terrible. Also, this is where I'd like to ask the question that I was going to bring up before. Okay,
Incoming question.
Now, am I the bad guy here? Am I? Well, let me tell what I'm saying first.
I'm the good cop. You're the bad cop. That's how
well,
it
sure.
is.
I mean, I think everybody knows that by now.
Yeah.
But am I a bad father? That this is not something he should be doing. He should not be helping his 14-year-old daughter tell a 17-year-old boy that she's in love with him. I just don't think that this is an appropriate situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Does that make me a bad guy? Somebody tell me.
Yeah, but he's like a needy dad, and he's got to do anything for her, right?
He's throwing her in the arms of a horny 17-year-old boy. Nothing good is going to come of this.
I mean, could have a beautiful baby. Right?
Jeez.
Beautiful baby. Forgive me, please. I can't imagine my world without you in it. I love you. You're like,
yeah, what is this, what? Romeo and Juliet? Like, let's calm down. Let's pump the brakes. This is too much.
Yeah, it's like, let's do some kissing and soft petting, and that'll be enough. And then I'll leave on a plane.
And then I'll go home from vacation. This is a vacation. I mean, this is too much.
Then they walk back, and she critiques his genuine love talk. So, like, he just told her what to say to get what she wanted, and then she's all like, "You suck." Like, what?
You were not great at that. Right.
She should be like, "Thank you, Daddy. Now I'll have his tongue in my mouth, and you can think about that when you're going to sleep."
This is what I'm saying. This is not okay, Dan. This is not okay.
Okay. The next day, she puts some clothes on that I guess look good, and he's all like, "You look glorious, beautiful, blah blah blah." What was she wearing? Yeah. I don't know what she was wearing.
I think just like a dress, right?
That wasn't the little black cocktail dress. That was earlier, right?
Yes.
I mean, that and the bikini were certainly her super hot looks, and then I don't even remember what this look was.
I think this is just like an appropriate, dress up. I don't know.
They go to the dance. He's not here. I'll die if I don't see him. And then they slow dance. Oh, no, he's slow dancing. She's slow dancing.
I think he's danced.
They dance. They dance, and then he's all like, "If he doesn't come, he doesn't deserve you." And then there he is, and then he's all like, "Go get it on, make my baby, make me dance, granddaughter or grandson." And then they're out there on the beach making out or doing whatever they're doing, and then he's watching them. He's watching them from the balcony.
He's watching them. Now I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm glad I don't have kids.
But that's what you would be doing. But you'd have a sniper rifle.
Yeah, I would not be
too far. His head would be
leering.
Like missed.
Like he seems happy about it, and he's like enjoying watching his daughter kiss a boy. Like there's some weird shit going on. Like I got my hand on speed dial like 911 because this guy's about to be murdered. I just saw it, officer. I didn't do it. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm glad I don't have kids. I would have been a terrible father.
Well, yeah, you couldn't have had a girl. Then he calls,
or a boy. I want to be very clear. This is not a gender thing for me. This is strictly an age thing. And let's be children as long as we can. Okay.
I guess your point is you'd either kill the guy dating your daughter, or you'd kill your son who went too far with the girl.
Sure, yeah. But either whoever's the perpetrator in the situation's going down. That's what I'm telling you. I don't care if I'm blood related. If you're doing something wrong, I'm taking you out.
So he calls the girlfriend and says, blah, 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 blah. I want to marry you. Then she answers, and then he's like, and let's have a kid. And then he's like,
and this is all good stuff?
Make sure it's a girl. And then she sort of, it's Emma Thompson, and she sort of talks. And
she sort of talks. Yeah. Right.
It feels like she's like playing him or something, right?
It certainly felt that way, which is, I didn't understand it. But also, Nikki called that out at some point. She's like, she's waiting for you to propose. That's why she's doing this, which didn't make sense to me. But, girls got a mind of their own. What do I know? I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
So it is set up earlier that would be the answer of their problem, quote unquote. But we don't know enough about the problem for any of that to make sense.
Yeah, it was super duper weird.
And also, just the line being like, make sure it's a girl, that creeped me out.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Yeah. And that's the
So
end.
to sum up, creepiest movie I've ever seen, and I hope it's the creepiest movie I ever see. I don't want to see any other movies that are like, well, if you like this one, watch this one. You know what I mean?
Oh, we'll have to find some recommendations. Yeah.
Based off of My Father, the Hero, please.
Yeah, this movie, I mean, Gerard Depardieu was like the number one actor in France.
I remember you said that last week when I brought this up.
And then
it just makes me feel like I should be French because clearly I'd be super famous because they're obviously the worst actors in the world.
And then he had a big falling out, a fall from grace, and he got like canceled. And
is it because of this movie? Because I would get
I
it.
think it happened later. Something I don't remember what it was. I should have looked it up. And then
you should have.
He like went to live in Russia or someplace really weird. He had to
defected to Russia.
He had to go someplace really weird. Yeah.
Oh wow. I did not realize there was such an interesting history with this guy.
Yeah.
All right.
We should probably look it up really quick. Let's see. Look it up really quick. Gerard Depardieu, 250 films.
Wow.
He worked with Truffaut, Godard, Rene, Ridley Scott, Bertolucci, big people.
Yeah, big names.
Oh, repeatedly accused of sexual assault. The French authorities have charged him with rape. And since 2021, he's been under informal investigation. He's denied it, but I think he ran off to someplace.
Oh, my God. I mean, not to be that guy, but feel like I called it just now.
Citizenship. Yeah, there he is with Putin in 2013. Yeah, he ran off to Russia, I'm pretty sure. Granting him Russian citizenship in 2013. Yeah. There you go.
Oh my God. This is like some serious shit.
Maybe him and Steven Seagal are like best friends there. They like hang out.
One of his accusers committed suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is some bad shit. All right.
So.
Oh man, I can't believe I chose this movie.
Good job, Tony.
Now it feels even weirder. Oh, we got to get out of this. Randy, let's get out of the show. This is too much.
Bye-bye, Gerard Depardieu. Enjoy your stupid life in Russia. We won't miss you.
Oh, God. Oh, I don't like this at all.
Okay, the end of that movie. Good enough.
Yeah, we'll never talk about this movie again.
Never again. Now we're supposed to talk about something we like.
Yeah,
it's
going to be tough.
What, you don't have anything you like?
I don't, yeah.
I've watched a lot of great stuff. We're watching the Serpent Queen. That's the movie. That's the show we're watching.
The Serpent Queen. What's that?
It's a period drama about one of those old French queens. Oh, it's
French queen.
Yeah, did she go to France? I think she went to France. I don't think she went to England. Yeah, because it's the.
Oh yeah, we've seen that. We saw like commercials for this during other things that we've watched. Is it good?
Oh God, it's so good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it's like the queen is like full queen, and that's played by what's her name, whose name I don't know, who I love. She's so cool. And then we're seeing how she became that person. So it's mainly how she's going to become the queen. So it's a younger actress playing her. And it's just great. It's just everything about it's great. We watched like 2 episodes and I'm just so happy with it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
So what do you got for us, Tony? You talk about the cold pizza you have waiting in the refrigerator. Woo.
I do actually. I got some great pizza. We our favorite local joint's called Rocky's Gourmet Pizza up in Glendale.
Rocky.
It's good, man. We have a barbecue chicken with pineapple in there.
Oh yeah,
gonna be great. We tried watching the new Batman animated show, the Cape Crusader.
Okay.
not great. We're 2 episodes away from finishing Love Is Blind UK.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Which is good. Yeah, I mean, we're having fun. We're having fun. It's not as salacious as the US one,
I
but
think so.
they're like real people going through it as opposed to the American one. So like it depends on what you want to see. You know what I mean? And then, preseason football's on, but that's terrible. Can't wait for the real season to begin. In fact, when this comes out, might be opening week. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So
I'm not sure. We're close. That's for sure.
September.
So, we're just kind of in a
holding pattern.
Like a lull. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, what I was going to do for next week.
Yes.
Was we were going to do, remember when we watched the Blue Planet one for Fantastic Planet?
I mean, I'll never forget it. Dan.
I was going to pick a movie that's not a terrible movie, but will take us out of our comfort zone.
Oh, okay.
But
just
course,
like this movie did.
The movie I wanted to do was Naked Lunch.
Naked Lunch?
But of course, it's only available on Criterion Collection, so you're gonna have to buy the DVD, and then we'll do it another time.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
So the other movie, I had another movie I wanted to do, and we're gonna do that later because there's a new movie that we need to do.
Oh, I love new movies. All right,
and it's the #1 movie on Netflix right now.
Wait, is this Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm pumped.
Mark Wahlberg, Halle Berry, her hair looking...
Yes.
She's got the Dan Goodsell hair game going on, so I'm super happy. Tony's going to hate her hair. It's going to be wonderful.
I wasn't a huge fan.
It's called The Union. I don't know what it's about.
Yes.
I have no idea. I think it might be a spy thing or an action thing. I have no idea what it is.
I don't know either, but I'm pretty excited about it.
I was just like, I hope Tony hasn't watched this yet because
I mean, it is on our list, Dan.
Yeah,
so if we waited another week, we probably would have watched it.
That's
so
what
this is good.
I had a little fear that you were going to watch it, and then
a little fear.
We'll do Naked Lunch maybe in a couple of weeks.
All right, I'll try to order it.
We got to do Naked Lunch because I've never seen Naked Lunch. So
okay, I've never heard of Naked Lunch, but it sounds delightful.
I believe there's a Simpsons joke where Bart says, "We watched Naked Lunch and it was neither."
Well, I'm already disappointed. Great.
So,
no food, no nudity. Yeah. What a joke.
Do you know who David Cronenberg is?
Only in like jokes. You know what I mean? I don't think I actually know the actual guy.
Did you ever see Jeff Goldblum's The Fly?
Of course. Yeah.
That's Cronenberg.
The director.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So,
this is him. That's what you're saying?
That's where he directed this movie also. So,
all right.
That gives
The Fly is great. Disgusting, but great.
Yeah, well, this one I think...
okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to understand what it's even about. Like, this is very exciting.
And I don't know that you're going to understand what it's about.
Oh, great. Okay, that should be a very fun day for me.
And it stars RoboCop, so...
The old one, not the new one.
The old one.
Yeah. It's too bad.
Okay, well, we're gonna go take showers now.
I'm gonna burn all my clothes. It's gonna be great.
Get your Depardieu off of our skin. And
thank God for the Union. Yeah,
yeah, the Union. It's gonna be good. It's
gonna be a nice palate cleanser.
Yeah, we're gonna see some real acting in that one. And we'll
Poor Mark.
If you like what we do, give us a thumbs up or a subscribe or leave a comment. And yeah, we'll be back next week talking about Mark Wahlberg and the Union.
The Union. Goodbye, everybody.